this past 400 years has been very rich in the contribution of the congregation. Well, the main purpose of the congregation was, first of all, to bring the gospel of Jesus Christ to peoples who have not heard of the gospel. So this is what they call first evangelization. And this was done by the help of the congregation for the evangelization of peoples. But how can you do it? By strengthening the local church through the formation of seminarians, priests, lay people, especially catechists, religious men and women. For even if you build buildings, churches, hospitals, but you do not form the evangelizers, then it really does not amount to anything. So that was the main contribution that I see, and that continues. And now we see many of those priests, lay people, and religious from the so-called mission territories now evangelizing in other parts of the world. So I see that that is a great contribution of the congregation. Well, some of the challenges these past 400 years remain the same. No, some challenges do not change. But now, because of the changing scenario in our world today, I think missio ad gentes must consider, first of all, interreligious dialogue, not only for an exchange or to bring the good news, but in order also to help build a world of friendship, understanding, what Pope Francis calls fraternity through religions. Why? Because nowadays religions are being used for extremist agenda, and they fight. People are made to fight each other in the name of religions. So this is one contribution of Christianity, how to present Christianity as a contribution, not to destroy other people, but a contribution to a more human society. The other challenge that I see is the continuing development of human beings, because there is so much lack of education, the basic needs, like there are some places where there is no water, no medicine. No? So how do we bring evangelization, the proclamation of the gospel, with concrete acts of charity? Because the language of charity, which is God is love, is understood by all, and it is a concrete way. And many people in the world are still living in extreme poverty. So in a way, these are not new, but they are now more pressing. No. Pontifical mission societies, which were entrusted to the congregation like 100 years ago as a pontifical mission societies, the Obras have been helping the congregation in our ministry, in our work, especially in two areas. First is animation, a missionary animation. Through the four obras, which deal with the propagation of the faith, the youth and the children, Santa Infancia, the seminarians and the priests, and the permanent formation. Wow! The work of the obras really support the evangelizing work of the congregation. And the second thing is through the financial help of the obras. So animation, formation, and also the act of charity through contributions, we are able to provide scholarships to seminarians, to priests, to religious men and women and laity. so that they could get the proper training. And the other thing is through the obras, the missionary work of the propaganda, has become really universal. And that's part of the calling of the Holy Father. Mission is the concern of the whole universal church. And the national directors, especially when they come together, they are a symbol of the universal church taking care of each other and together performing the mandate that Jesus has given to the whole church, which is to evangelize. But I think we will continue to do, what we have been doing, even if it is not anymore its own congregation. It is a section of the new dicastery for evangelization. But when I read that section, it is basically what the propaganda fide has been doing. So we'll continue it. Now, how does that relate to the first section on the fundamental questions of evangelization? That has to be developed. But I think it will be a wonderful opportunity. You have a section that will study the questions of evangelization, and the second section will bring to that section experiences from Africa, from Asia, from Oceania, and also from Europa and Latin America. Because of migration, because of social communications, the clear distinction in the past between what is a traditionally Christian country, what is a mission territory, now those boundaries are not too clear anymore. Now, so that will be interesting, how we will see that. And finally, I think any reform, requires also conversion of mind, mentality, and spiritual conversion, pastoral conversion. Now, the people working the Roman Curia, I think all of us will have to undergo that conversion. It's not enough to have a written constitution and rules, because those rules and constitution contain a worldview, a missionary worldview, and we need to enter that worldview. That requires conversion. Yes, so the Pope will be the prefect, he will preside over the dicastery for evangelization. And that is significant. This is not the first time that the Pope will be the prefect. In the past, the Pope was prefect of the Doctrina della Fede, the doctrine of the faith. There was a time when the Pope was also the prefect of the Congregation for Bishops. So, and also he was the prefect for the Congregation for Oriental Churches, I think. So when the Pope sees a priority, he can say, I will be the prefect in this. And now he says, I think he's saying his vision of his role as Pope is the Pope is not just an administrator, but he is the first evangelizer. So he wants that as the image also of the Pope. So as a Filipino, I would like to express to the people of Spain, the church in Spain, a big thank you for bringing the faith in Jesus Christ to the Philippines. This is a mystery to all of us because the other parts of Asia were evangelized earlier than the Philippines. But it was in the Philippines where the faith was received by the people and grew really. Last year, we were told that the Philippines is now the third biggest Catholic country in the world. Brazil is the first, Mexico is the second, the third is the Philippines. We did not realize it. No? And there are 10 million Filipinos outside of the Philippines. And when I visit, like I was in the Middle East, I was in different parts of the world, is the Filipinos who also bring their faith. They share their faith. They look for jobs. That's why they leave the country. But when they find also a mission to share their faith. And I want to share this out of gratitude to God and to encourage the faithful and the church in Spain. 500 years ago, maybe the Spaniards who went to the Philippines did not realize that this would be the fruit. We have the Filipinos, we have our strengths, we also have our limitations, just like any people. But one thing that we appreciate is the gift of faith. And we hope that the church in Spain will not lose this sense of mission. For you do not know, what you sow now, we don't know what will be the fruit 200 years from now, 300 years from now. And thanks to the legacy, this is a gift that has been given. And so let us continue giving that gift.